Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. Well, that's, this is good. That's the purpose of having it, so that we can keep a track of the idea generation. I'll share my screen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I don't know if you shared your screen. I'm not seeing it, but
sharing
I can hear you
now. And should be able to see your chat now.
Oh yeah.
It's the wrong bloody one though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, there was the other one.
Okay. Share screen.
Oh my. Oh, there it is.
1 second. There we go.
Awesome.
1 second. I just want to keep an eye on this URL. Okay. So yeah, what chart was this here?
I forgot. That was nothing important. You don't have to worry about that really. It was I think it was the euro, but I just.
Okay, so I'm doing a test on the dollar yen. 25 examples in, 6 years of data. P&L 2.2. Right, so right from the get-go, I can tell you that this is, this is part and parcel of back testing. When I started doing my back testing properly, I would spend entire weekends from the market close on Friday to the market open on Sunday doing tests, and some of them I would get this type of skew.
Okay.
What I would say to you is that when you start out doing the back test and you've got your rule set in place, is that what you don't want to try and do is curve fit your results. Do you know what I mean by curve fit?
Yeah, I said that later in the message. I figured that might be one thing that could be a problem. So yeah.
So we want to get it for the back test to be of value to us. We need it to have the instances of our trade across multiple instruments, and then from that metadata, we can see on the whole, is the strategy profitable or not? And from that point, then you can look to refine things. But starting to refine things through the back test is a form of curve fitting, which ultimately will sabotage your progress.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's like I said also, that right from the get-go, that this back testing is kind of a labor of love, and there are a lot of dead ends.
Mm-hmm.
But this is part of what I consider paying your dues to the market, really.
Yeah.
That you only really you only learn it through experience, and the experience in and of itself is invaluable.
Okay.
So I see, from a time saving perspective, I know this appears not to be worthwhile, but when you take it across, when you take this as a cross section of a larger data set, then it is worthwhile.
Okay, yeah, that was my other thoughts. Well, that being said, so after that, I can summarize pretty much what I said after. Was before you telling me that, I was like, well, if I do the hour chart, I could see getting more results per pair. Because I realized, but I mean, then that doesn't matter. But basically now, I agree, I can continue. But then my one question about it is, I did see one benefit when I was thinking about, for this reason, doing the hourly versus the 4 hour, is just being able to avoid news. And what is your, because like in the back test right now with the 4 hour, I'm not really taking into account the news. Now, if I was to test the hour, it's pretty easy to like have a strategy in place to like not trade a day before a big news event and to have the trades that don't have that factor. But it seems like for the 4 hour chart, especially over the time period that they play out, it seems that there's always a news event that happens when I'm in the trade.
Well, there is, but what I would say, I'm getting some feedback.
Oh yeah, no, why? Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, Trey, I'm good now.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so there is that to a degree, but here's what I'll tell you. The nature of the 4 hour closes means that, and presumably, as we've discussed, you're trading the bar closes. You're not just trading a level strike at this stage. So yeah. The nature of the bar close means that the bars encompass the news event, and then oftentimes you get a better read on the market response to the news on the 4 hour close.
I was going more per se, like when I'm in a trade and a news event is about to happen as I'm still in a trade, like, sure. Like I was doing the demo and like I was in like, I think a New Zealand trade and there was like a news event that wiped me out. And like, I mean, even over the back test though, like it's like for Euro, it was profitable so far. And that, I mean, possibly because I didn't test it. There could have been events where there were news. So like going forward, when I'm really trading, am I going to be trading during like closing my trades before news, and like what can that affect my results? Like what's your opinion?
So what we would do at this stage is we would run the back test almost as a blind. So we don't factor the news. We just look for the instances of the trade and we record the results. Yeah. And then once we've done that and we have the data, if the data is favorable and the strategy is profitable, then we can go back and we can cross-reference the trades versus tier 1 news releases.
Okay.
Because the instances of the news events giving an adverse reaction versus then giving a positive reaction, more often than not, ironically, you'll find that it cancels each other out.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, yeah, that's where I'm at. I didn't update anything in the file. I've been taking the notes in like a notebook before I add them to my computer because it's a little faster that way. But I found out that I can like download prior data, so I'm actually probably going to go back on the Euro because I can get like 10, 18 more years of data that I didn't know that I could get. So I'm gonna do that. However, 1 second, let me think. 6. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, never mind. Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
That'll work. I was just thinking, like another thing I was thinking is just about like the trade amount I'll have to take, like just assuming like a 50 win loss, which I think is reasonable at like a very generous, and then a one it's with my risk reward. It just seems like this is going to take more time, pretty much. I feel like optimally, then, like based on that, I would want to be trading one at the completion at least 15 pairs to get like even like 30%. So that was my other thing, because I only get like 6 trades a year and per pair. If I win half of them 2-1, that's 1.5%. So I would have to have like at least 15 pairs to get to the 30%, which is like kind of what I'm aiming for. So
well, yeah, I mean, the other thing is there are 28 major currency pairs.
Okay.
So you're not short of instruments.
Okay.
So I mean, what we're trying to establish here, first of all, Brandon, is simply, is the strategy across a cross section of instruments profitable? Because once it is, then you can open it up to, when we do the forward test, for example, you can open it up and you can trade all 28 pairs.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what our first objective is to identify the level of profitability and to give us a sense of what's the kind of max drawdown across 1,000 instances of the trade, and let's say 10 pairs.
Okay.
Because then we can exponentially factor out what our max drawdown would be then on 28 pairs.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So for the forward test, I already started. Do I need to link the account to?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll figure out how to do that. Okay, that makes sense. I guess before I was thinking that I had to like back test it for every pair I'm trading, and I was just like, that seems like I'm never.
No. Well,
Okay.
what we want to be able to see 1,000 instances of the trade.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so that's our objective in the back test. But once we get to, let's say, 300 to 400, we'll already have a good idea of whether or not it's going to play out as we anticipate.
Okay, that makes sense.
The objective at the moment is twofold. We want to start the forward test, and at the same time, we want to be collecting the data for the back test.
So do you think like maybe 100 on 10 different pairs then, or?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, depending if the trade frequency is 6 trades over 10 years.
Over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 years is 60 trades. 10 pairs is 600 instances.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that would be our minimum objective with the back test, to give us a good cross section of the data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense about how to go about it then. Cool.
And then at the same time, we get the forward test underway. When I say link the account, I mean link it to that OneNote so I can see it through there.
Okay. You were also talking about drawdown. So should I put them in like, because like right now, it's like I didn't track how many trades I lost in a row. So I should take note of that.
Yeah, we absolutely do that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions here and now?
Did you want me to? I can start the forward test. Well, I've already started, but you want me to link it to like a MyFX book and give you that info, and then
exactly what I want.
Okay. Well, I will do that this weekend and come back next week. Now that I'm sure I'm gonna stick with this, should have at least 250. I'm imagining by next Wednesday or Thursday. So.
Yeah, next Thursday I'm in Italy, so I won't be online. So can we do Wednesday evening next week?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Good stuff. Okay, I look forward to speaking to you next week, and I look forward to receiving the MyFX book link.
All right, cool.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.